Hello again. So we're back in Google Forms and we just went through creating and sharing one, and now I wanted to show you a couple of the features of the results that I really like. So this was a survey that I had created. You see some of the questions here, which we could always come back and modify and change as needed. I also wanted to show you as well that if you wanted to make a copy of this survey, you just make a copy, and then automatically it comes up and lets you do a new title, so you can change it, etc. But if you wanted to reuse these questions or the formatting or something of that, then you can make a copy and then come back and make some changes. And it's a really easy way to kind of start another form that maybe you want to be similar. For example, to have two different forms for two different class periods, so you could go back and look at that data more easily, etc. So I wanted to be sure to show you that. But in terms of the responses, what I really love is that based on the questions, when you have the responses, you come back and Google already does the data collecting for you. It creates these beautiful graphics, or it might give you bar graphs. And it just gives you some data points that already you can use to analyze the results. And students can do this as well. For example, I had students coming up with a survey on leisure activities and habits for adolescents, where they had to come up with the questions, create the Google form, submit it, collect the responses, and then analyze the data, and then come up with kind of a new way of sharing that information and what their findings were. So it's great for cross-curricular types of activities where you incorporate math and data analyzation, but not necessarily within the content that you might think. So that's one thing that I really love. What I also love is to create the spreadsheet. Now, normally it would come up with create a new one or add to an existing one. However, I already created a spreadsheet in my round one of trying to do this video. So this particular survey is not just the greatest one to look at in a Google Sheet because it's a little bit overwhelming. This one was really perfect for the graphs. However, what I like is just showing you that you can choose that as an option, and this is also the Google Sheets, which we'll look at a little bit more in detail as well. But you see that it has the timestamping already of when the person took the survey or filled in the Google form, which is really great when giving assignments to students. Because that data is collected regardless of when, whether they say they did it on Saturday versus Friday or whatever the case might be. Now I want to show you here, and I've blocked out some sensitive data here, but this was a short little quiz that I had created. And what you see here is I have the score, right? So this is a really easy way, if you have these this as an assessment, to come in and just take this score and transfer it to your gradebook. And you can see how, because it is a Google Sheets, you can manipulate and modify and change the data, the text a little bit. Well, you can't change the data, but you can modify the sheets. Like I added this fill color here to make sure to block out and sensitive information. I have what I call our recurring homeworks, where students have to sort of fill in the same form each week, where they're doing a similar activity but kind of changing with each week, and they're using the same form and they submit it. And what I do is I'll kind of highlight and block out to keep track of my own grading, and I'll to show myself what I've already graded, what needs to be graded. If somebody turned it in late, I'll maybe highlight it a slightly different color. So for me, I just really enjoy having this as a way of sort of being able to come back, look at the results at my leisure, use them for whatever I need to use them for, whether it's going to be a formal grade or not. And I just always have this data point. So I wanted to be sure to show you those options.